I no, no answer. Sure. Prathishna is there. शुभ
Hi Ravi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Very good morning.
Very good morning.
Ravi,
Yes.
Reshma is in waiting. Can you please
Thank you,
let her?
Sunil.
Ravi?
Yes.
Yeah, you can join the class. I mean, you can start the class.
All right. The new concept that will move ahead with is pivot table. So what is a pivot table? Pivot table is a kind of a tool which is actually used for summarizing the data. So assume this is the one of the data we have, and I just want to find out across a particular location how much salaries I am paying, or across a particular gender what salaries I am paying, department wise what the salary I am paying, department wise how many people we have, gender wise what people we have. I want such kind of an information. Now, if I need to do, usually I will make use of SUMIF to do that. But it can be effectively done using pivot table. Now, what we need to do, select the data that you want to analyze. In the insert tab, the very first option is the pivot table.
Replace the WordPress install techno-install.in/box.
Click on new worksheet. Do OK. So you have two options: new worksheet or existing. Existing means any place apart from the data, you can just simply select the cell and get it. So I'll go for a new. OK. As soon as you click on new, a new sheet opens up, showing off a report area and field list. This is pivot table report area, and this is field list. So whatever games we play here, whatever things we perform here, we get to see the output here. So here you will see the list of the whole headers that we had in the original source. The idea is to drag these fields into the respective four boxes. Now what to drag? So the idea is to drag and drop these fields into the four boxes. Now what to drag, what to drop? So any kind of a numerical data that we have. Now in this case, the salary is a numerical data. It's always pulled out in values. And any kind of a non-numerical data that we have name, gender, departments, location. These you can simply drag them into filters, columns, or rows. So let's say I'll drag location, and if I choose one of the location in this, it gives me the data corresponding to that. I can drag that in columns, I can drag that in rows. So it gives you flexibility to keep the way you want your data to be reflected. So there is no hard and fast rule available, like what to keep where. So the only rule is numerical should come to the values, non-numerical you can pull that in other boxes. So this is location wise, what is the salary period? Now the same result we have actually got using SUMIF actually. Now here without using any formula, still we are able to maintain that. Now you can even drag multiple components. Let's say gender, I want to keep in filters. So gender wise, so female, what is the salary I'm paying? Likewise, you can keep that in columns. Gender in rows, location in columns. or both gender and location in rows are. So the way you find it convenient, we can just keep it the same way. Now what we need to do, we need department wise. Department I can keep in filters, columns, rows, or whatever we have. Now this is gender wise, location wise, department wise, what is the salaries I'm paying. Now there are a lot of empty spaces here. The empty spaces indicates like we don't have any combination for that resource. We don't have any female from Boston belongs to accounting department. We don't have any female from Cambridge which belongs to HR. So that is the reason it is coming as a blank. Now instead of keeping it as a blank, we can do right click, pivot table options, and for empty cells, we can put that value as a 0. So all the places will be filled up with a 0. Okay. So till now, whatever I have done, I wanted to try the same activity. The data I captured it from SumIf, if you remember, SumIf data it is, and I pasted it in a separate sheet named as data source, and then I created a pivot, simply selecting the data, go to insert, pivot table, and I get a fresh sheet. Then I drag the respective few columns in the places, and then I got in empty places I got 0 by clicking right click, pivot table options. For empty cells show 0. I wanted to try up to this place. Yes, done. Good. Okay. Now, next what I'll do is, if you just see my gender and locations are coming up, so gender and location are coming in, same column. What I want is my gender should be available in column A and location should come in column B. Now, what should I do? Now, if I drag my locations to be there, it is not producing what I wanted actually. It is not giving me. So what I need to do, go to design at the top and then report layout, show in tabular form. So keeping the cursor in the pivot table, you will find a design. Once you click outside pivot table, you won't see anything. So you get to see two extra tabs which are analyze and design, which are part of your pivot table. So go to design, report layout, show in tabular form. Now you can see that my genders are coming in column A, locations are coming in column B. Earlier, they were in compact form. So by default form is known as compact form and we converted into tabular form. There is one more form which is known as outline form, which is 50% of compact and 50% of tabular. Likewise, you can see some female total, male total appearing. These are known as subtotals. So if you don't want, you can disable them. So subtotals, if you want, you can put them. If you don't want, you can disable them as well. Likewise, you can also get rid of the grand totals we have. We can also get rid of the grand totals. If you want only the bottom, on for columns only. If you want right side, on for rows only. If you want both, on for rows and columns. Similarly, after all the female, if you want a blank line to be inserted, blank line after each item. And similarly, if you want to get, what are these? These are all female. These are all male. So if you want FFF to came here, so repeat all item labels. You can see FFF coming. Earlier it was showing as blank. Now I want. Then you have, if you want your each of your rows should come as alternate color, banded rows. Likewise, banded columns. So banded rows. Again, you have a lot of options in the pivot table style. You can just choose whichever suits your requirement. You have row header to make this thing darker, lighter. Column header to make the above line darker and lighter. Lot of customization. So design part is more of a beautification part. After dragging and dropping each component, we just beautify it by choosing the following options. So first option we choose is tabular form. We disable the subtotals. We saw various ways of getting a grand totals, and then we got banded rows or banded columns depending on the choices. And we selected various pivot table style options afterwards. Try this also. Good. So this is one of the basic version of pivot table you could have actually created with the following data. So let's say this time I'll do little reverse. So I said any kind of a numerical data will put in values, but this time I'll put in rows. But what is the use of this? And name in values. Now what it is indicating, basically it is showing like there is only this salary is appearing one time, this salary is appearing one time. Instead of this, if I want it as 30 to 50,000, how many people exist? Number of people in that salary bracket, 50 to 70,000, how many people sits in that bracket? So what I need to do is, after putting all the salaries in rows, just choose a random salary, right click, and click on group. Just mention it as the rounded. So here it is specified as uh, the minimum and maximum salary. Once you click on the group option, minimum salary 33,000, maximum is going at 1,06,000. Now I want to group them in the difference of 30 to 50, 50 to 70. So every time 20,000 gap, and my salaries are not rounded off. So I know that my minimum salary doesn't go less than 30,000, and maximum it doesn't go more than 1,10,000. Now I can just customize my values and do OK. I can see 30 to 50 there are 6 individual, 50 to 70 there are 5 individual, 6 individual for the next category and 1 individual for the next category. So this is your type 2. So this is what I selected, one of the random salary. I got salaries in rows and name in values. Then I selected one of the random salary, right click, clicked on grouping, and I filled up these values. Okay, done. Yes, everybody. Yeah, others. So whenever what we need to do is just choose any of the random salary, right click, and you will find an option up here as group. Just fill the values as per the requirement and you'll be able to get it. Yeah, Reshma, Soumya, Pooja, Mansa. Where is Pratishna and all? She was there. Pratisha. Mansa, done. Vinay,
Ravi,
Yes. 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 Now the next one is I want to pay a bonus to these people. So location wise, I know what is the salary paid. But location wise, there is nothing like a bonus paid. Either we need to create a separate column as bonus, then we can do it. But right now, there is no feasibility of doing such thing. Now, how to engage into something like this? What we can do is in the analyze option, you will have field items and sets. Next to the design, you have analyze. Fields, items, and sets. You have calculated field. Field means column. So we are creating a new column named as bonus. And what is the value? Is equals to whatever the salary multiplied by 5%. Now what you need to do is just click on add and okay. Now once I do add, you can see a bonus is added. Do okay. I got the message. So I got a bonus. So even the bonus wasn't there as a part of it, but still we were able to create it. Just follow the same method. So go to analyze and field items and sets, calculated field. Just fill this accordingly, add it. Okay, you'll see that added. So you can create your own set of columns based on already existing columns. Virtual column basically that doesn't even exist in original table. one is done for everyone. Next one is, this time we'll put dates into the rows and name in the values. So here by default, the dates are appearing as group. We can ungroup them and can group according to our choices. Right click, group them. So this is what you want, year and months. I can just do that. So years you can keep in columns, months you can keep in rows or whatever. You can switch them as well. So this is year wise, month wise, how many people have joined, which year, which month, how many people have joined. Like that you can pull out. Now this is kind of important for grouping to the HR, so you can see which year, which month, what time you do more hiring, what time you do less hiring. You can even get other data aspects into this. Do this quick, please. Yes, done. Good. Okay, this is type 4. Now, few settings corresponding to the pivot table. Now we just used a pivot table and let's say assume this. We filled out 30,000, 1 lakh 10,000. Now we can even manage them by going to analyze using something known as visual filters. So go to insert slicer and you have option up here as multiple options are there. You can choose multiple as per your requirement. Now, as soon as I click in this, I'm seeing some changes in the pivot table. Basically, these things are effective when you do a kind of charts and all. So show me how females, males. So as soon as I create a chart, so you can simply insert a chart by going to this, and I choose the first option. I got this chart. Simply, this is acting as a filter here, which I'm just simply changing it, and you can see my output is also chart also changing. So these are like visual filters. These are known as slicers. We can enable them by going to analyze option and insert slicer. And you also have insert timeline, which is basically a date corresponding effect. So when you want to see for a particular year, 21, what is the status? 2020. You can go for multiple years also, 18 to 21, 5 years altogether. You can even customize their colors by going to the timeline at the top. Just choose them and you'll get a timeline option. You can just choose whichever is necessary. Same way for slices also, we can change the colors as per the requirement. So these are available in the analyze, insert, slicer, and insert time. Sometimes what you do is your data gets updated. You add some more set of rows to this. So in that scenario, you added few rows, let's say here, some more set of records. But the pivot will still create the data for only for the selection which you made earlier. Now you can get the latest part by just simply going to the respective pivot table which you want to update. And you have an option here as change the data source. So you can select the new set of rows as per your requirement, new selection, and do OK thereafter. So you'll be able to get the new data in that. Okay. Sometimes what really happens is you change some records, some data gets updated, already existing data gets updated. Now, if you want to see the effect, whether it won't happen directly, you need to do right click and refresh it to make that changes happens. So that can also be done by going to the refresh button as well. Now this clear option will clear the whole pivot table. Select will select the whole pivot table. We can move it to the new sheet or existing sheet. And you can close your pivot table list by clicking on this and clicking it back. You have some grouping buttons here. If you want to get rid of them, you can click on this plus minus buttons. Field headers like gender, department, and location. If you don't want, you can disable them. Yes, so this is whole together your pivot table and some functionalities. There are small few things are left which I'll cover when I'll do the dashboard part. Very pretty small thing, won't take much time, but effectivity will be told in that period, like filter connection and all. How you can connect multiple pivots into one thing. Pivot slices basically you can connect into. So one slicer can control multiple pivots. Something. So these are slices only. And in the background, you have some data, pivots. Pivots are changing, charts are changing. And I'm able to control all the data across, all the things are changing accordingly. So there are multiple pivot tables in the background and all are changing as per the selection that I'm making. You can see how numbers are changing at the top. So this. I'll share you some HR centric data onto which you can just apply whatever we have studied today. You can try to apply whatever we have studied and just try that. If any difficulty or any issues you have, just let me know. It will have a good number of rows and columns. So then you will see the better change and understand how things works. The idea is the same, simply drag, drop, and all. So one or two times you'll do on your own, and more of you also try to apply on your set of data. You get a better understanding of how effectively you can actually use it. All right. All right, then. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. We'll connect tomorrow sharp. And we'll see what next we'll do. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, Ravi.
Bye.